Tommy Clark stood behind the counter of his small diner, an apron wrapped snugly around his waist, the scent of frying bacon mingling with the bittersweet aroma of freshly brewed coffee. With creases of worry etched onto his brow, he wiped down the grill, mentally calculating the week's expenses: rent, utilities, the dwindling supply of ingredients from his supplier. The once bustling diner, Clark's Corner, was now but a whisper of its former glory, his dream teetering on the brink as patrons thinned out with every passing month. Yet somehow, despite the weight of his worries and the constant hum of overdue bills, Tommy's warm smile and generous heart anchored him to his ideals. Among the morning regulars sat Mr. Barnaby, a grizzled old man known for his gruff demeanor and outlandishly large coffee mug, which he filled to the brim each day. As Tommy served him his usual breakfast: 2 eggs over easy, crispy hash browns, and a thick slice of toast, he felt the shift in the diner as the door swung open, jingling the brass bell overhead. A man entered, disheveled and gaunt, his shirt threadbare and stained. Tommy had seen the look before, one of desperation, of defeat. Even with his own financial burdens, Tommy felt a tug at his heart, an imprint of empathy sparked by memories of his own struggles when Clark's Corner had been nothing more than an aspiration and a pipe dream. He could almost still taste the colder days when he had skimped on meals, subsisted on instant noodle packs, deflated hopes temporarily stifled. He offered the newcomer a nod, which drew the man's eyes from the linoleum floor to meet Tommy's gaze. "I'll have a coffee, please," the man rasped, his voice cracking like old wood. "How about a breakfast to go with that?" Tommy proposed, his voice warm but knowing. The man hesitated, glancing around the diner, his stomach rumbling audibly, a sound so deep that the patrons turned to glance with muted curiosity. It was a sound that resonated with the aching void that lay behind Tommy's own ribs. "Just coffee," the man replied, his pride flush against the wall of embarrassment in the little diner, a mere shadow of a man bound by circumstance and invisible chains. His unkempt hair danced in front of his face as he fumbled to dig into pockets lined with nothing but dust. Tommy's heart sank with a familiar ache. The money he was squeezing from each passing day didn't allow for generosity, and yet it had always been embedded in his bones, a calling stronger than hardship. He thumbed the corner of his apron, contemplating the dregs of his cash box, thinking of his own tightening belt while holding tightly to his sense of humanity amidst struggle and uncertainty. "Let me ask you this, how's about you take a seat? I'll fix you up a plate on the house," he offered, determination woven into each word like a promise of warmth and compassion. The man blinked in surprise. "Really?" Tommy nodded, an easy smile lighting up his face even as the weight of his own financial responsibility pressed down. It was a fleeting moment, just one act of kindness, but Tommy felt the decision sprout roots in his heart. The man made his way to a table, taking the seat in the corner, apprehensively surveying his surroundings. Tommy set to work, breaking eggs and sizzling bacon, granting every ounce of care, a little piece of his heart mixed with each seasoned dish. When he placed the steaming plate before the man, there was something magical in the way the man's eyes brightened as he dug in. With each bite, he transformed from a shadow of neglect to someone who relished the comfort of home-cooked food. People around them smiled, their conversation shifting to murmurs of warmth, a ripple hidden in that small act of kindness, reaching out beyond the 4 walls of Clark's Corner. After a few minutes, the man pushed the empty plate away and wiped his mouth with a ragged napkin, disbelief still etched across his face. "Thank you. I don't even know your name," he said, searching Tommy's eyes as though they might reveal some unspoken secret of goodness in the world. "Tommy. Everyone calls me Tommy," he replied, feeling that the weight of that act would linger in the air, changing the way he felt about the work he did. That moment embodied something meaningful, a connection birthed from shared struggles, something larger than their circumstances. The man nodded, a flicker of hope igniting in his eyes. Then he stood up, placing a weathered hand on the table and reaching into the depths of his pockets once more. As Tommy resumed tidying around the diner, he glances back and witnesses the man place a folded piece of paper on the table before stepping into the brisk morning outside. When the door closed behind him, Tommy felt the emptiness of the diner settle around him. Curiosity pulled him closer to the table. Heart pounding, he unfolded the paper with fingers trembling, half expecting a crumpled dollar bill to spill out. Instead, he stared at neat handwriting, a list of ways to bring life back into the corner where his diner sat. The notes felt like a lifeline, a glimpse into fresh ideas drawn from experience he couldn't yet comprehend. He sensed it wasn't just a piece of paper. This note held within it infinite possibilities, a transformative energy that could change the trajectory of his life and his diner's fate. In that moment, fueled by the uplifting sentiment of hope and a resolute sense of purpose, Tommy knew his world was about to shift in ways he couldn't yet foresee. It was a simple act of kindness that may just prove to be the spark that lit the fire of change, connecting lives in ways that extended beyond mere survival. Hope surrounded him like the scent of fresh coffee. It was an invitation to create, rediscover, and rise again. As Tommy stood in the quiet aftermath of the man's departure, he slipped the folded note into his apron pocket, feeling the weight of possibility nestled against his heart. The day progressed with familiar faces filtering in and out of the diner, all equally ensnared by the cozy glow and delectable aromas, but today felt different. Today the air buzzed with potential, a silent agreement among patrons that change was in the cards, blending with the familiar sounds of clattering dishes and light laughter. Leo Carmichael, the town's spirited schoolteacher, was among those who frequented Tommy's counter. He was known for his infectious laughter and an eye for the potential in every student. However, lately, Leo had seemed weighed down by burdens of his own budget cuts. Echoing through the halls of Bayview High had left him reconsidering his beloved after-school programs, stripping away resources meant to nurture creativity and ambition. As he took his seat at the counter, Tommy smiled at him and poured another cup of coffee, passing over a slice of freshly baked pie. "How's the world of education treating you?" Tommy asked, trying to lift the clouds gathering on Leo's brow. With a hefty sigh, Leo responded, "Barely surviving, if I'm honest, Tom. The district just slashed funding again. I'm losing my art program, and it feels like we're robbing kids of their chances to express themselves. I don't know, it just doesn't sit right." Tommy nodded, a gnawing empathy rooting him to his spot behind the counter. He had known the value of what art meant to a community. His own childhood blossomed against the backdrop of creativity, painted by dreams and inspired by teachers who believed in every stroke of imagination. He wondered how he might help Leo, but words eluded him. Instead, he leaned across the counter, dizzy with ambition, striking up a plan in his mind about what kindness could do. "What if we hosted a little art show here in the diner?" Tommy proposed suddenly, the idea bursting forth from the depths of his heart. "We could showcase student artwork on the walls and invite everyone. I mean, it's a little out there maybe, but you know, art and food go hand in hand." Leo's eyes lit up like the diner's neon sign at twilight. "Tommy, that's brilliant. We could use the diner as a space for community creativity. It'd be a way to rally the town, perhaps even fundraise." The encouragement and enthusiasm that bounced between them felt palpable. As palpable as the exploration of rediscovered hope that illuminated their path ahead. That night, the bond they shared brewed deep within them, a promise to each other that community could flourish even in shadowed nights. Days turned into weeks, and they worked tirelessly organizing the event. With Leo at the helm, students flocked to the diner, filling the walls with vibrant paintings and delightful craftsmanship. As opening night approached, Tommy felt the anticipatory hum of the town as it drew near. Word spread like wildfire, and every seat in the diner was reserved. Eager patrons, skeptical ones, and curious community members flocked in anticipation of this eccentric venture. On the evening of the art show, the diner felt like a sanctuary for creativity. The walls exploded with colors, contrasting against the earthy tones of the diner. While patrons wandered, sipping on freshly brewed coffee and indulging in delicious pie, the energy was infectious. Laughter mingled with the soft strumming of a guitar one of the students had brought, putting on an impromptu performance. Tommy basked in the warmth that radiated from every face. He felt alive, transformed alongside Leo. Amidst it all, the man who had entered just a few weeks earlier returned, a quiet humility cloaked in the glow of newfound confidence. This time, he walked in holding a vibrant painting, the colors clashing and contrasting in a way that spoke volumes without words. With a timid smile, he approached the duo, and Tommy could feel excitement ripple through the air. "This one's my first piece," the man said, laying it gingerly against the wall. "I wanted to contribute. I felt that there's magic in this place tonight." Tommy smiled, tearing down his earlier hesitation. "It's beautiful. It belongs here." As curious patrons gathered around, the man's painting drew attention. The pieces of art began to connect everyone, bringing forth conversations that unfolded stories, dreams, community. One woman, enthralled by the painting, stepped forward with a glimmer in her eyes. "If you're selling this, I'd love to purchase it," she said, reaching into her purse and retrieving cash $50, which changed hands towards a mutually felt sense of triumph and connection. As the night bloomed, Tommy glided through moments filled with laughter and glory, while Leo took a step back, feeling gratitude wash over him. The energy in the diner embraced vulnerability, resilience, and pure joy. That night wasn't merely about art or breakfast, it was about uniting, rejuvenating a weary community spirit. After the event, as Tommy began to wrap the evening up, Leo approached him with an ear-to-ear grin, a stack of envelopes clutched tightly in his hand. It was the thought brought to life, the ripple effect of kindness that had brought transformative waves back to his life. "Tommy, you won't believe this," Leo said, bursting with a nervous energy. "All the proceeds from the art sales, every piece sold. We made over $1,200. You inspired this, Tommy." The tender hush that fell over Tommy felt far heavier than the numbers. It was a staggering weight that danced alongside the comfort of hope. They had turned adversity into something beautiful, a flourishing community transformed by kindness. "Then we can keep the art program alive?" Tommy asked, his voice barely a whisper as emotions washed over him. "Yes, we can." It hit him like a wave. Their act of kindness sparked transformation, not just for him but everyone who danced alongside them that night. All those kids who had poured their creativity into their passions, now they had the resources to further their dreams. Meanwhile, in the corner, the man who brought a touch of humanity to the diner was selling his painting. It emerged as a beacon of self-worth, a profound acknowledgement of talent that had burgeoned from genuine connection. Hope spread like the sweet scent of fresh coffee, mingling with warm encouragement. The love for one another radiated through uplifting smiles. Tommy couldn't help but notice how generosity had given birth to new opportunities. That act, small yet significant, had planted seeds of resilience throughout the town and woven strong ties among its residents. Days fell into weeks, and just as winter's chill melted into the warmth of spring, the ripple effects of that night snowballed throughout Bayview. More art classes flourished. The community began hosting small pop-up shows, bringing together local artists and businesses. Tommy's diner, now ignited with promise and spirit, became a buzzing meeting point for collaboration and creativity. As the weeks went on, the man who had wandered in still feeling lost began volunteering at the diner, helping Tommy serve coups and slices. His presence felt as new friendships ignited. He learned from Tommy, generating ideas that turned every interaction into a connection. The growth of a community was suddenly palpable. As it turned out, it was the kindness that spread not just through the hearts of individuals but also ignited a collective transformation. And through it all, Tommy learned a profound lesson: that each piece of kindness acted upon echoed far beyond the immediate moment. It carved a path into the future, covering people and places with warmth that refined like gold in the hands of those who believed. With every grateful smile, every piece of art showcasing creativity bound to flourish, and the beginnings of an enriched community, Tommy embraced the magic he had inadvertently sown. It became clear sometimes the power of kindness weaves stories bound not merely within our hearts, but shines through the lives we touch, growing into a legacy larger than we can ever imagine. Tommy stood in the middle of Clark's Corner, the cozy diner abuzz with the laughter of familiar faces and the vibrant chatter of new friendships. Days had turned into weeks since that life-changing art show, and the little diner had become a thriving community hub. Patrons shuffled in and out, each face illuminated by the glow of connection. A tangible warmth in the air, supplemented by the rich aroma of fresh coffee and baked goods. As he glanced around, Tommy couldn't help but feel a swell of gratitude blossom within him. The simple act of kindness he had extended to a hungry stranger had transformed not only his diner but also the fabric of their entire community. The man whose name turned out to be David had woven himself into the very heart of the diner. So often, Tommy would catch David sharing stories with other patrons, laughing as he served them, their laughter echoing off the walls, filling the diner with life. Tommy admired how David took the initiative to lead art workshops for the kids during the weekends, giving them an outlet for their creativity. The transformation Tommy had witnessed in David was mirrored in the children embraced by his influence. "Hey Tommy," Leo called, breaking Tommy's reverie as he entered through the front door, wiping his hands on an apron embroidered with a cheerful sun. "We need to solidify next month's art event. This time, we can invite students from nearby schools. I have a feeling it'll be twice as big as the last one." The excitement palpable between them acted as an anchor, rooting them in the purpose that had unfolded from their earlier efforts. Tommy nodded enthusiastically, the vision sparking life just as it had done before. "Absolutely. Let's feature a local artist of the month and open up a section to showcase new talent. It'll be a fantastic opportunity for everyone," Tommy added. With the growth of Clark's Corner, they began brainstorming ideas over countless cups of coffee, envisioning a vibrant schedule filled with regular events that fused art and gastronomy, a celebration of community at the heart of it all. Weeks passed, and as they prepared for the newest addition to their lineup, Sarah, a bright-eyed girl with an impeccable talent for painting, came by with a radiant canvas she had poured her heart into. She could barely contain her excitement as she approached the diner, her artwork plastered with joyous colors resembling swirling galaxies. "I want to know what you guys think," she said shyly, her cheeks flushing as she revealed her masterpiece. Tommy and Leo exchanged glances, their spirits buoyed by her talent. "Sarah, this is incredible. It captures so much energy," Leo exclaimed, eyes widening in admiration. "You have to be part of the exhibition next week." Tommy felt his heart swell with pride as they pinned Sarah's creation amidst the planned space for their community showcase. It served as not only a piece of artistry but also as a testament to the abundance of talent present that needed the right platform to shine. The nourishment of their surroundings transpired through mutual support, sowing seeds of potential where despair had previously festered. As the date of the event approached, Tommy meticulously crafted a new menu infused with creativity, each dish echoing the artistic themes reflected in the art around him. The enthusiasm surged in the air as they painted with laughter and connection in the heart of Clark's Corner. Each morning, Tommy opened the doors to a gathering of aspiring talents, showcasing the stirring growth of individuals whose spirits had been touched, all blossoming together. Finally, the evening of the event arrived. The buzz reverberated throughout the diner as new patrons filled the booths, and families gathered to share in the joy of artistry and culinary delights. The walls gleamed with paintings, each canvas holding echoes of stories, dreams, and resilience. David mingled through the crowd, welcoming patrons with warmth and reminders of the community spirit they had built together. Tommy beamed as he inclined his head toward Leo, who was welcoming a group of students, gleeful curiosity sparkling in their eyes. "We did it, you know? Look at this place," Tommy laughed, overwhelmed by the sense of accomplishment that enveloped him. As the night unfolded, the magic of connection enveloped the diner like a warm hug. Old friends caught up while strangers exchanged smiles. People sat shoulder to shoulder, tapped into the common thread of celebration and creativity. In the late hours, Tommy caught wind of a few patrons discussing how they had decided to collaborate and offer creative classes to those in need, inspired by their experiences at the diner. Each story threaded through the air like a tapestry of hope, weaving further transformation that bolstered the community mindfully. As Tommy cleaned up after the festivities, a moment of silence washed over him. He leaned against the counter, and the room that had once echoed with worry now hummed with empowerment and gratitude. He pulled out the tattered note written by that very first stranger, the one who had ignited it all, and ran his fingers along its edges, realizing the profound weight it carried. Hey, Tommy. Leo strolled back in, sweat glistening on his brow but a satisfied smile across his face. Can you believe how this has all unfolded? Tommy chuckled, his heart brimming. It's incredible. I can hardly express how grateful I am for the community that has backed us all. It's more than just a diner now. It's like a sanctuary, Leo mused. I never thought my passion for teaching could be combined with something so nourishing. Kindness matters, Leo. It creates ripples that touch lives beyond what we can see. With that realization enveloping them like a warm embrace, in the quiet aftermath of connection, they forged a promise to continue nurturing this thriving spirit. Evenings would become sanctuaries of creativity while hearts ignited with ambition and love. Months rolled by, and the diner flourished, its reputation blossoming as it drew in a crowd filled with art enthusiasts, hungry bellies, and generous hearts. David led art classes while Tommy continued to create gourmet delights for each event. Everyone contributed to a vision that had grown beyond them, a fusion of food and artistry serving those who dared to dream. Tommy now found himself buoyed by the both tangible and intangible returns the transformation of a once struggling diner mirrored through the pursuit of kindness that had spread throughout the town. Financial stability was not just a feat achieved but a shared experience colored by much deeper roots, allowing him to not only survive but thrive. One rainy afternoon, while sipping a freshly brewed coffee, Tommy encountered a young girl wandering in. Her eyes gleamed with curiosity as she peered at the paintings hanging boldly on the walls. Wow, this place is amazing. Can I draw here? She asked. A palette of colors nestled in her small backpack. Tommy grinned. Of course. We'd love to have you. As she settled at a table, colors scattered across the paper, he marveled at how an isolated act of kindness had evolved so profoundly. Each brushstroke and sweet exchange formed the core of something bigger, transforming mere existence into genuine connection. Through it all, Tommy learned that material success wasn't the goal, rather, it was the bridge that led to an enriched tapestry of compassion and unity, a testament to endless possibilities sparked by empathy. Whether through shared meals, art, or laughter, he saw firsthand how, when given the chance, kindness could transcend barriers, reconstruct lives, and uplift communities. As laughter flowed through the walls of Clark's Corner, Tommy recognized that he'd unearthed not just a diner, but a sanctuary for all those seeking solace, creativity, and belonging, a legacy rooted in hope, gratitude, and the boundless potential of kindness. It was here, amidst the ingredients of shared humanity, that life flourished in the most unexpected yet profound ways.